Hello, good evening, lovely people. I hope you're well. Thank you so much for joining me again this Sunday evening. Very nice to see you. Lovely to have you here. I've been a bit of a naughty girl. I've been invisible on Instagram. I haven't been very active over this past week. I don't think I've posted any reels this week, so I do apologize. I'm working on several projects at the same time, so hopefully you will start to see the results of what I'm working on soon, and I promise you it will be very, very much worth it. Yeah, I'm up to here in work at the minute, but I will definitely try and keep up with my reels, etc. I do try and post a story every now and then, but obviously I want to be more in touch with all of you on Instagram. So how are you? In the past week, yes, in the past week, P-A-S-T, please, in the past week. You look like an angel. Oh, wow. That's very kind of you. Thank you. That's very kind of you. So lovely to have you. Thank you so much for joining. What I want to talk about tonight, I want to get into it tonight, is the parent-teacher meetings that you might be interested in. We are approaching the first half term in the UK. We're approaching the first half term of the academic year. As you know, at the end of October, we usually have a half term. This is like a little holiday, a little break that we have in the term. And then after that 1 week holiday, kids go back to school again and they break up for Christmas. And the first term is usually quite a long term, isn't it? The first academic term. It's the longest of the year. It starts in September and it finishes in December. So it's quite a long academic term. And so it's a long time for kids to go to school. The first few weeks of the academic year obviously is more like an introduction. You know, how are you? What did you do over the summer? For kids, get to know each other, get to know the school, get to know the teachers. So it's all a little bit of an introduction, fun and games, kind of very light work. But then gradually, as we start approaching October especially, that's when teachers start teaching new material. They start actually teaching new topics. And I think it's a very good idea for myself, for example, to know right at the beginning of the year, just to know where my kids are at when it comes to their schoolwork. How are they doing? How are they coping? Are they doing well at school? I can see based on their homework, based on any kind of results that they bring home, I can see a little bit about their progress. But as a parent who cares about her kids, the same as all of you lovely people, it's important to me to know that my child is progressing correctly and well academically, but also I want to make sure that their behavior is appropriate as well. And there's nothing worrying or stressing my child at school. These are things that we might not be able to see when our kids come home, especially if they're younger. It's something that the teachers at school might spot. And then it's a great opportunity in these meetings for parents and school staff to just have an open communication about the kids. So that's hopefully what we say. Please, what academic? So academic year is سال تحصیلی. The academic year in the UK starts in September and it finishes mid-July. That's the academic year, سال تحصیلی. That's interesting topic. I have an appointment on 5th of November with my son's teacher. That's from Sonos. Very good, very good. I don't know how old your son is, and I don't know what year he's in. مثلا میخوام بگم که پسرتون کلاس چندمه، نمیگم what class is he in، میگم what year is he in. یعنی پسرتون کلاس چندمه، what year is he in. That's how we ask it in the UK. In America and Canada, I believe they say what grade is he in, what grade is he in, کلاس چندمه. So this is how we say that. Dear Layla, please check your direct that I sent you receipt of my payment. Thank you. I will. Sorry about that. I will definitely do that. Okay. Sanos, you're saying your son is 10 years old. Okay. He's in year 5. Right. That's a lovely year. They're still in primary school, which is lovely. And year 10, they're thinking about year 6. Year 5, they're thinking about year 6, aren't they? Because in the UK, we've only got 2 levels of education, compulsory education, primary school and high school. دیگه در انگلیس ما مدرسه دوره راهنمایی دیگه نداریم. درسته؟ We only have primary school and high school. And year 6 in the UK is a very important year. It's the year that children finish primary school, and the following year they go to high school. So year 5 and year 6 are very important years. Very good. Okay. Excuse me. دوباره میگید لطفاً. حتما چی رو بگم؟ لطفاً بفرمایید که چی رو تکرار کنم؟ حتما تکرار میکنم. Please check your Instagram. Please check your Instagram message. I'm so sorry. I will definitely check my messages. Yes, I'm very, very behind on that. I do apologize. Yeah, I'm working on several projects, but I'll definitely get to my messages. Thank you. How can connect to you, Akram? How can connect to you? You can email me. You can send me a direct in my message. Oh, I'm so sorry. And I will promise to check my direct messages, definitely. Very good. چطور میپرسن کلاس چندم هست در British و American؟ صداتون برای من قطع شد. Okay. So in the UK, they say what year is he in? What year is he in? In America or Canada, they say, what grade is he in? Grade. What grade is he in? Okay. مدرسه شبانه میشه night school. How you been up to from Mehran? I've been very well, thank you. I've been busy, really, really busy, but I've been doing really well, thank you. And I hope you're the same as well. Lovely. So what year? Past how now? What year is he in, or what grade is he in? Lovely. Okay. What I've done, because I'm a parent myself, obviously, and I've been to lots of these parent-teacher meetings, just like you, and there are some questions that every parent, I think, likes to ask the school teacher, just so we know how our kids are doing at school. I've just got a few things here, and hopefully you will find these useful for your meetings and for your kids as well. Okay. What year is he in? Yes, what grade, what year is he in? Very good. مدرسه شبانه روزی. Yeah, that's boarding school. I just thought you said مدرسه شبانه, which is night school. Okay, very good. Right. Let's say, for example, I've sent my kid to school and it's still the beginning of the year, isn't it? And I want to say that my child is a little bit different. My daughter or my son is not their usual happy, bubbly, sociable self. They're very different. They're very quiet when they come home. Maybe there've been problems at school. So this is why I say, for a girl, I say she hasn't been herself. She hasn't been herself. She hasn't been herself. Or for my son, he hasn't been himself. That means my child has changed. They're very quiet now, or maybe their behavior is a little bit different. So I'm asking the school teacher, have you seen anything? Has something happened at school? Why is my child a little bit different? Yeah. Very good. What is the difference between night school and boarding school? Okay, that's different. Okay, so what I understand from night school is in the evening, and it's usually for people who they are a little bit older. It's not for normal kids. It's for people who are older. They go to night school. It's usually in the evening after work. That's called night school. Boarding school is when your child actually lives at school. That's called boarding school. So you take your child to school at the beginning of the academic year, and your child stays at school and they live there. They sleep there, they eat there, they live there, everything. And sometimes weekends or sometimes holidays, we can go visit our children. Yeah, that's called boarding school. Okay, yes, so she hasn't been herself. She hasn't been herself. My daughter is very different. For example, she's very quiet or she's very moody. That means something's happened at school. I don't know what it is, but she hasn't been herself. Yeah, so this is a topic I want to talk about with the teacher. Another question I know a lot of parents want to know, especially Iranian parents, because this is something that I've noticed Iranian parents struggle with, and that is that in Iran, I believe kids who have their textbook, so یه دونه دفتر داریم notebook هست که بچه‌ها خودشون توش می‌نویسن، اون رو میگیم notebook. یه دونه تکست بوک داریم که کتاب هست که بچه ها میخونن. اوکی؟ پس تکست بوک، نوت بوک که هیچی. در ایران مثلا تکست بوک رو بچه ها میخرن، اگه اشتباه نکنم مدرسه میده بچه ها میخرن و بچه ها این کتاب ها رو با خودشون میارن خونه هر روز، کتاب درس رو. In the UK this doesn't happen that way. So in the UK we as parents we do not buy any textbooks for our kids. We only buy notebooks, or we only sometimes buy books, for example, for art or drawing, or these kind of things are what parents buy. It is the school's responsibility to provide teaching material. پس چه کتاب باشه، چه جزوه باشه، چه هر چیزی باشه، این دیگه مسئولیت خود مدرسه هست. این چیزی نیست که ما بریم از بیرون بخریم. به خاطر همین خیلی از پدر مادرها, a lot of parents, they don't know what their child has been studying or what their child has been learning at school. They want to see what is it, what have you learned at school, so we can practice at home and I can help you. They don't know because kids do not bring their textbooks home. They bring their notebooks, but sometimes it's not complete. That's why some parents get worried. And for example, this is a question that I used to ask from teachers. What textbooks can I get to complement یعنی کامل کردن, yeah? To complement what she's learning at school. همه اینها رو من توی کپشن توی یوتیوب حتما می نویسم که بتونید ببینید. What textbooks can I get? من چه کتابایی میتونم بگیرم? What textbooks can I get to complement که علاوه بر درس مدرسهش باشه که بتونه کامل کنه what she's learning at school, اون چیزی رو که بچم داره یاد میگیره. پس بچم یه چیزی مثلا جمع و تفریق داره یاد میگیره سر کلاس، من چه کتابی میتونم از مغازه بخرم که تو خونه بتونه همین جمع و تفریق رو تمرین کنه؟ چون شما مدرسه که کتاب نمیذارین بچم بیاره خونه، چه تمرینی بچه میتونه توی خونه انجام بده؟ چه کتابی بگیرم که بتونه تمرین کنه؟ What textbooks can I get to complement, مکمل باشه، کامل کنه، complement what she is learning at school? This is a great question, but فقط این رو هم بگم، این رو هم عرض کنم. It is, these kind of questions are questions that normal English parents don't ask, okay? A lot of schools, they do not give homework to the children, or if they give homework, it's not much. It's just a bit of homework because a lot of homework happens in the school. So the teacher teaches the subject and then they have extra time in school for the kids to practice and do the homework. For two reasons. Number one, so we guarantee the children do their homework in school, and number two, so the teacher can watch, supervise, monitor, make sure that that child has learnt the subject correctly. These are the two reasons why usually you don't find homework coming home. Usually kids do their homework at school, and your kids come home and you ask them, okay, do you have any homework? No. Okay. So some parents, they want to do a little bit of extra practice at home. Okay, lovely. Another question that I like to ask for my kids, بچه من در مقایسه با بقیه کلاس چطوره? Okay, this is a question I like to ask. بچه من در مقایسه با بقیه کلاس چطوره؟ هم سطح بقیه کلاس، جلوتره، عقبتره، چطوره؟ This is the question. راجب دخترم، دیگه همه رو با she میگم. Okay, راجب دخترم. How is she، یه کلمه جدید، faring. Faring. spellش F-A-R-I-N-G. Faring. Faring. How is she faring compared to، در مقایسه با، compared to the rest of the class، نسبت به بقیه کلاس. Fair یعنی do. در واقع دارم میپرسم که دختر من در مقایسه با بقیه کلاس چطوره؟ جاش کجاست؟ How is she faring compared to the rest of the class? Yes. Excuse me. دوستان استیکر نفرستید، ویدیو متوقف میشه، لطفا احساسات خود کنترل کنید. تایمی که ایشون گذاشتن برای آموزش استفاده کنید. Thank you. I'm so sorry if it keeps stopping and stuff. I do apologize. But this is being recorded. All of this is being recorded. It's going to go on YouTube as well. Yes. پس دختر من در مقایسه با بقیه کلاس کجاست جاش؟ به چه صورت هست؟ میخوام ببینم که در چه حدی هست دخترم. How is she faring? و کلمه faring F-A-R-I-N-G. Faring. How is she faring compared to the rest of the class? Yeah. And this is usually where the teacher will say, no, she's doing fine. She's okay. She's doing fine. The teacher might say she's struggling a bit. She is struggling a bit. You can't, she's got little difficulties, a little bit of difficulty. She might be behind just a tiny bit. She's struggling a bit. Or some teachers might say, no, she's ahead of the class. She is ahead of the class. She is further, ahead. She is not in front of the class, but she is ahead. جلوتر هست از کلاس. Yeah, she's ahead of the class, so she's doing really well actually. So it's good to know where my child is compared to the rest of the class. Compared to. Barati Simin, she is struggling a bit. Thank you. GH 2011 GH, how is she faring compared to the rest of the class? Thank you so much. Correct spelling. Lovely. How is she faring? پس کلمه faring دیگه یه دونه I بیشتر نداره. اون I مال ing هست. Fair F-A-R. How is she faring? Very good. یه دونه داریم. بهارک نادرلو. She is on target. Lovely. دقیقا همون جایی که باید باشه هست. She's on target. Well done. It's lovely when the teacher says your daughter is on target. Fantastic. It's lovely. اتفاقا این نکته بعدی بود. This is the question I want to ask as the parent. The question is she, my daughter, is she meeting all of her targets? Is she meeting all of her targets? Okay, so if she has to do maths or English or handwriting or science or history or chemistry or whatever it is she has to do, is she meeting all of her targets or is she struggling? So that's a really good question as well. Is she meeting all of her targets? Usually in the academic year, they say, for example, in the first term, your child, masalan, your child should be able to read, for example, 10 words. Okay, so that's the target. And if my child can't read 10 words, they can only read 8 words, they are a bit behind. Some children might be able to read 20 words, so they are ahead of their target. Every part of the year, kids have a specific target that they have to try and meet. Is she meeting all of her targets? Very good. Lovely, lovely. The question I always like to ask from the teacher is she focused in class? My daughter, her name is Ella. Some of you might have seen, she's on a few of my videos. She's very bright, very smart, but she's very chatty. Oh my goodness, she's very chatty. And when she was very young in primary school, her teachers used to say, she's extremely chatty. She's talking all the time. She was helping her friends, but when she is talking, that means she can't hear what the teacher is saying. So I want to make sure that now that she's a bit older, she's in high school, I want to make sure she's focused. She's not being distracted with friends. وای که اگه بفهمم پای تلفن باشه سر کلاس. She's playing on her phone که اصلا. I want to make sure that she's focused. I want to make sure that she's paying attention. So it's a question we ask the staff teacher, the class teacher. Is she focused in class? Yes, is she focused? She is talkative. She is chatty. She is a chatterbox. Very good. Is she focused in class? Lovely. Yes, Ella. Yes, very good. So, یه چیز هست. Thank you. That's very kind of you. Thank you, Bahar. There's one thing we say she's talkative. Talkative can be good. It can also be bad. Yeah. Chatty can be good. It can also be negative. So usually in the sentence, we understand if it's a good adjective or negative adjective. Yeah. Usually we understand in that bit. Chatty. Okay. Right. The next one is a big problem for some children. In a lot of classrooms, you find that the teacher groups the children. Okay. So children do not sit alone. They sit in groups. And this is firstly so the teacher can control the class a little bit easier. And also it's good for the kids because they work together in groups, right? Nobody is alone. Everybody has a partner. Everybody has a group, which is great. Now, sometimes this happens, I think, to lots of people, lots of kids, that they are in a group where one or two people in that group, they cause or create distractions. Yeah, they might be, نمیخوام بگم naughty, نمیخوام بچهای دیگران رو بگم naughty هستن, but they might be a bit talkative, they might be a bit chatty, they might get bored in the lesson. And so I don't want my child to sit next to another child who is very chatty, who is talkative, who likes to distract other people. Especially in high school. Especially in high school, obviously kids, because of their hormones or age or whatever, they get distracted very quickly. And they love to be the clown of the class. They love to, you know, make jokes and everything. And I don't want my child to sit next to somebody like that, because I want my child to take her studies seriously. So maybe I'm not happy that she is sitting next to Sarah, yeah, in the class. میخوام پس از معلم بپرسم آیا راه داره که دختر من جاشو عوض کنید؟ تو این گروه نباشه، بذارینش توی گروه دیگه، چون من با این گروهی که الان دختر من درش هست راضی نیستم. چیزایی که شنیدم، رفتاری که دیدم، چیزایی که شنیدم، راضی نیستم. لطفاً جاشو عوض کنید. Yeah, this is what I want to say to the teacher. Can I ask, میشه خواهش کنم, can I ask that she be moved? Okay, she be moved. مجهول هست. Can I ask that she move? نه، خودش قرار نیست که تکون بخوره، قراره که جاش عوض بشه، مجهول هست. Can I ask that she be moved to a different group? Can I ask that she be moved to a different group? okay? Because I'm not happy with the group that she is in right now. Or it could be that your child, for example, might have visual issues. You want your child to come and sit a little bit closer to the front of the class. Right now they might be sitting too far back and they can't see the board, they can't see what's going on, and you want to ask the teacher, can my child be moved forward? Can my child be moved forward? So can فلانی be moved? That's how we use it as the passive voice. میشه جای بچه من عوض بشه، عوض بشه. Can I ask that she be moved to a different group? Can I ask that she be moved forward? Can I ask that she be moved further back, for example? Anything, yes? Be moved forward, be moved further back, any of these, yes. Very good. Can she be moved to the front row? Yeah. I'm happy, it means I'm satisfied. Absolutely, yes, yes. Okay. Now, a lot of parents, of course, they want their children to be right at the front, very close to the teacher, but that can't happen because there are lots of children in the class and lots of parents want their children to be at the front, right? So usually what happens is the teacher changes the place of the children almost maybe every term. The teacher changes the place of the children. Usually they do this quite some time. Okay. What is your concern about her performance or her behavior? Very good, London 2022. What is your concern about her performance or her behavior? Lovely. That could be a question, absolutely. She be placed to the other group, نخیر, in another group. She be placed in another group. She moved to, be placed in. That's the difference of the preposition. Okay. Sitting at the back is so fun. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. Okay. Lovely. Let's see. Right. So one more question I have, and then we're getting close to 7:30. One more question. Let's say, for example, that my child comes home and she is complaining, oh, the maths is so boring, it's so easy. I'm in a group and as soon as the teacher gives me the question, I answer the question quickly, but I have to wait for everybody else in the group and it's just so boring. And so I understand that my child is in the wrong tier, طبقه. در طبقه بندی. My child is in the wrong tier of maths. tier. ما دو جور tier داریم برای spell کردن. یه جور tier یعنی قطره اشک که T-E-A-R هست که اون یعنی اشک. tier یعنی اشک. اینجا منظور طبقه هست. طبقه بندی tier. T-I-E-R. اوکی، منظور طبقه بندی هست و اینجا دارم از spelling دوم استفاده میکنم. پس دیدم که my child is finding her tier in maths very slow, very boring, and she has to wait for everybody else to finish. And I would like her to be moved to a higher tier because I'm sure she can do it. So this is what I say. Is she ready? Is she ready? این یه اشتباه خیلی بزرگه که بعضی از پدر مادرها انجام میدن. فرقی نمیکنه پدر مادر مال کجا هستن. اشتباهیه که خیلی از پدر مادرها انجام میدن، حتی پدر مادر انگلیسی، که میگن لطفاً بچه ما رو بذارین یه گروه بالاتر، یه گروه سخت‌تر در ریاضی. بچه من بره یه گروه بالاتر. Teachers don't like that because it's the teacher who has to decide if Ella, my daughter, can move higher or she has to stay where she is. It's the teacher who has to decide, not the parents. So I want to ask my question in a respectable way. I don't want to upset the teacher, okay? So I don't say, can my daughter be moved to a higher tier in maths? That's not what I'm asking. This is my question. Is she ready? Is she ready to move to a higher tier in maths? شما معلم به نظر شما بچه من حاضر هست، آماده هست؟ کششش چه کلمه سختی، کششش رو داره، ببخشید آیا این توانایی رو داره که یه طبقه بره بالاتر، سخت‌تر برای ریاضی؟ Is she ready? Is she ready? So I can't go and request that my daughter goes to a higher tier. That's the teacher's job, okay? But I'm asking, is she ready? Is she ready? And then the teacher will tell me, yes, she's ready. No, she isn't ready. This actually happened to me last year. My daughter, Ella, she started complaining that maths is really boring and that kind of thing. So I said, okay, let's talk to the teacher. I spoke to the teacher. I said, is she ready? And the teacher said, to be honest, she is. And I've spoken to Ella, but Ella herself doesn't want to move because all her friends are in this group and she doesn't have any friends in the top tier. That's why she wants to stay in this group. And so I had to have a different conversation with my daughter. So sometimes the teacher agrees that the child needs to be moved, but the child is not ready. And we don't want to force the child to do something that they're not comfortable doing. If they want to do something, the child has to be ready, obviously. We don't want to affect their confidence, okay? Tebiani, why not is she ready to be moved to a higher tier? Is she ready to be moved is correct? Yeah, that's correct. Greetings from Iran. Hello, Reza. Thank you for joining. Your face is blurry. Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. To be honest, she is ready, but she doesn't have any friends in the higher tier. Yeah. So that's, for example, what the teacher might have said. Is she ready to go to a higher tier? Lovely. You can say tier. Some people even say level. That's fine. That's fine if you want to say a higher level. Yeah, okay. A lot of the time. Now, this is one cultural difference, one big cultural difference. In Iran, there is a lot of respect that we give to the teacher. And it's very important. There is a lovely close relationship, I think, between the parents and the school. There is a lovely close relationship. What the teacher says, the parents and the child usually listen because they respect the teacher. The teacher is the professional. They know, okay? In the UK, so I'm not talking about America. I'm not talking about Europe or Canada, Australia. I'm not talking about these places. I'm just talking about in the UK. In the UK, these are examples of what some conversations are like in the UK. These are some example conversations that you might hear from other parents, okay? So there was a parent-teacher meeting. This is real. از خودم در نمیارم. This is real. از خودم در نمیارم. I'm not making it up. از خودم در نمیارم. I'm not making it up. اینم بنویسم توی کپشن بعد حتما. I'm not making it up. از خودم در نمیارم. I'm not making it up. This was real, okay? I went to a parent-teacher meeting. I was waiting for the teacher. The teacher was in the meeting with another parent. I was waiting. But the door of a different classroom was open and I could hear the parent-teacher meeting in a different classroom. And the teacher was telling the parent that unfortunately your son is quite active in the lesson. Teachers are very careful not to say naughty. We don't like to say naughty. We say quite active, okay, or quite hyper. The teacher was saying, your son is quite active, quite hyper. He distracts the other students. And the teacher was telling the parent, could you please have a word with your son? میشه لطفاً باش حرف بزنید. Have a word with. Have a word with. Could you please have a word with your son? Past have words. Nah, have a word. Have a word with. میشه لطفاً باش حرف بزنید، باش صحبت کنید. Could you please have a word with your son and ask him to respect the classroom and everything? This is what the teacher was saying. The parent said this. و این چیز خیلی غیر عادی هم نیست. The parent told the teacher, when my son is in school, it's your problem. به همین راحتی. Okay? So when my son is at home, it's my problem. When my son is at school, it's your problem, she was telling the teacher. And unfortunately, I don't know if any of you have heard this kind of behavior. Unfortunately, you see this with some parents, with some families, excuse me, that they say, when my child is at school, it's not my responsibility. It's the school, it's the teacher. خیلی هم کلمه طلبکار درسته؟ خیلی طلبکار هستن از مدرسه و از معلم. Very, very different to the Iranian culture. Very different. Or another example, this happened in America, that if a child is not doing so well in school, the parents, they go to the teacher. Why is my child failing? You're the teacher. Why is my child failing? قشنگ با این صورت، با این نگاه که یعنی اشکال از بچه من که نیست، اشکال از مدرسه است. چرا بچه من داره فیل میشه؟ Can you see a very, very different relationship between parents and teachers in the West compared to parents and teachers in Iran? I'm guessing if a child is failing in Iran, yes, the parents want to talk to the teacher, but a lot of responsibility might be on the child as well, or maybe on the family as well. But in the West, no. A lot of responsibility falls back on the teacher, on the school. My child is failing. Why don't you give my child support? My child is failing. Why aren't you teaching my child? Why aren't you giving my child more practice? So, نمیخوام بگم parent ها طلبکار هستن و دست به کمر وای میستن و خیلی دعوا دارن. No. But we are very comfortable to be very direct with teachers. If my child is failing, why? Why is my child failing? Is it because, you know, it's something she doesn't understand? If she doesn't understand, why don't you give her extra work? Why don't you give her a support teacher? You are the school, so you need to be helping my child. If my child has come from a different country, English is not their first language. I'm going to answer that one, Mehdad, thank you. If my child has come from a different country, English is not his first language, that's not my job, because maybe my English is not very good. It's the school's responsibility. So you need to give my child extra English practice. Yeah. So this is very fine. It's absolutely fine. And it's very, very good for parents to get really involved in school and to request, definitely request as much support as available. Definitely. یه سوال داشتیم از یکی از افراد محترم. مهرداد thank you. خواستم به معلم بگم همکلاسیش مرتب سر به سرش میذاره. Okay. سر به سرش میذاره is جورهای مختلف میتونیم gets on his nerves, annoys him. این بهتره. Okay. So his classmate annoys him a lot. Annoy. اذیت کردن، سر به سر گذاشتن. Yes. Annoy. A-N-N-O-Y. Annoy. So his classmate annoys him a lot. You know, and so that's something that you can say. Ask the teacher or ask from the teacher. Oh, very good. Merci. Very good question. This is from Mina. Very good. In Farsi, we say از معلم درخواست کنیم یا از معلم بخوایم. یعنی حرف اضافه استفاده می کنیم در زبان فارسی. از. اون از به انگلیسی دیگه ترجمه نمیشه. Ask the teacher. That's it. Yeah? Ask the teacher. Okay. This class is really useful because we have a teacher-parent meeting this week. Very good. I'm very happy to hear it. Yes, lovely. Get on his nerves. Seymour, please. Get on his nerves. His classmate gets on his nerves. His classmate annoys him a lot. Yeah. طلبکار از معلم هستن به انگلیسی. طلبکار هستن. They feel that the teacher owes them. احساس میکنن که معلم بهشون بدهکار هست. They feel that the teacher owes them. O-W-E. یه S هم داره آخرش. Okay. Very good. Lovely, lovely. So these are really, really good questions and good sentences. I hope they make sense and I hope you find them useful. I decided to have that session tonight for parent-teacher meetings because you might start, like one of our friends said, you might start hearing from your school that there will be parent-teacher meetings happening very soon. It's usually around October, November, when parents and teachers get together just to talk about their child, the child, right at the beginning of the academic year. Yeah, and this is where they can tell you how your child is doing, and if you have any concerns, if you have any worries, it's very good to talk to the school. Definitely, very, very good. Yeah. If you are worried that your child is being bullied, you're worried that your child is being annoyed, you know, at school, there are different levels. خب متاسفانه بچهای مدرسه متاسفانه سنی هستن که سخته، خیلی سخته. در ایران مثلا اگه یه بچه‌ای داره بچه منو اذیت میکنه، حدس میزنم، نمیدونم، حدس میزنم که من مادر به خودم اجازه میدم که برم با اون یکی مادر اون بچه حرف بزنم، بگم خانم فلانی مثل این که بچه شما بچه منو یکم اذیت میکنه، اگه میشه من به بچه‌م میگم، شما اگه میشه به بچه‌تون بگین. I'm guessing, I don't know, because I think parents have a very open understanding. Yes, parents are very open and they're very understanding about these things. شما با بچه‌تون صحبت کنین، منم با بچه‌م صحبت کنم که اینا همدیگه رو اذیت نکنن تو مدرسه. This is very acceptable, I guess, in Iran. I don't know, I'm just guessing. We don't do that here. We absolutely do not do that here. I, as a parent, cannot directly go and talk to another parent. Absolutely not. I'm not saying it's illegal. It isn't illegal, but it's the job of the school. It's the school's job to communicate with the parents. It's not the parents' job. Okay. Sometimes the situation gets really, really, really bad. یه دختری بود پارسال یا پیارسال همکلاسی دختر من و یه دختری بود که از نظر روحی روانی خودش خیلی تحت فشار خیلی زیادی بود به خاطر خانوادهش، خودش رو اذیت میکرد این دختر که من خب خیلی دلم سوخت برای اون یکی دختره، خودش رو اذیت میکرد، آثار خیلی بد میذاشت از نظر جسمی برای خودش، خیلی اذیت میکرد خودشو و بعد از خودش عکس میگرفت و این عکس‌ها رو یه دفعه میذاشت جلوی چش دختر من و واقعا این دختر منو خیلی عصبی کرد، خیلی ناراحت کرد. دختر من خیلی وزن کم کرده بود، خیلی ناراحت شده بود و این چیزی بود که خب من خیلی خیلی ناراحت شدم. آدرس اون دختر من میدونستم کجاست، میدونستم خانوادهشون کجا زندگی میکنه و خیلی هم نزدیک بود، به عنوان یک مادر خیلی نزدیک بود که پلیس خبر کنم، با پلیس با هم بریم در خونه اون خانواده. ولی این راش نیست، راش از طریق مدرسه هست. Okay? So I got the school involved و خیلی با سکول باید رفت آمد میکردم، تماس میگرفتم. I got the school involved. I insisted that the school has to let the other parents know. گفتم اگر شما با اون خانواده تماس نگیرید، بهشون نگید که هم دخترتون به شدت احتیاج به کمک داره، همین که دخترتون داره بقیه بچه‌ها رو اذیت میکنه. اینو نگید، من وکیل میگیرم بر علیه مدرسه. و ترسیدن و واقعا خیلی ها وکیل میگیرن یا میرن دنبال ادوایس قانونی. امیدوارم که این اتفاق نیفته برای کسی، ولی منظورم اینه که اگر اتفاق اینجوری میفته خانواده ها با هم درگیر نمیشن، چون این خیلی بد میشه. از طریق مدرسه همیشه باید واسطه باشه، خیلی راحت تر هست. I got the school involved. Yes, I got the school involved. مدرسه رو در واقع در جریان گذاشتم. I got the school involved. We are in debt to our teachers. Yes, Simorg, I know. In Iran, teachers are highly respected. Students really respect their teachers. It's lovely. It's absolutely lovely. Yes. Okay. لطفاً جواب میدین که میشه برای تشکر از معلم گل یا شکلات یا کارت گرفت یا مناسب نیست. Yes, if you want to thank a teacher, it's lovely. If you want to get maybe a bunch of flowers or chocolates or anything, that's lovely. Usually they do it on Teachers' Day, or they do it for Christmas. Some kids, they take a little gift for their teacher for Christmas. You might do this at the end of the year, after exams are finished and everything. At the end of the year, a lot of kids, yeah, they get a gift card, maybe a thank you card, flowers, anything for the teachers. That's absolutely fine, yes. But something small. We don't go and get jewelry and these kind of things. We don't do that. Something very small. Yeah. Welcome, young Smart Oxford University students. Okay. What's this? لطفاً کلاس از مبتدی برگزار کنید. کلاس منظورتون این جلسات آنلاین، این جلسات یک شنبه اگه هست حتما سعی میکنم. چشم. چرا پست هاتون کم شد؟ Yes, I'm so sorry. I will try. I will pick it up again from next week. Okay. You rock. You are the goat. Thank you so much. Lovely. Thank you. Are you in charge of her flowers? Okay. همه اینها در مورد مدارس های school هم هست. school منظور همون مدرسه است دیگه، درسته؟ کلاس های آنلاین دست جمعی کاش داشتید. I think you mean something like free discussion. Maybe free discussion. I will try. At the moment, because I've got quite a few projects I'm working on, but I hope to start free discussion classes as well. Okay. چقدر جلسه خوبی بود. مرسی. امروز میشه مجدد همین موضوع رو بیشتر صحبت کنید. Next week, you mean for next week, if we want to talk about school again. If you have any questions about school, please do send me your questions if there's anything specific. 1 or 2 questions if you have. I'd love to try and help. Absolutely. Okay. Thank you very much. So, oh my goodness, it's almost 10 to 8. It's almost 10 to 8. من 50 دقیقه شما رو نگه داشتم. ببخشید. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for all of your great comments and questions and for being so active in the lesson. I really appreciate it. This is being recorded. It will go onto YouTube. I will add all of these questions and comments in the caption section, and then I will send the link of my YouTube video into my Instagram story so you can watch it again later if you like. Thank you very much, everybody. Lovely that you could join. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you next Sunday. Take care. Good night.